Hey, y'all. Happy Tuesday. Happy Timeout Tuesday. I'm so glad you're here. I am looking at my light here and it is washing me out like crazy. Let's see here. Oh, there's a normal-ish tone. Let's see here. No, nope, don't need that. Maybe that. There. Better. One of those fancy little ring light things. What's silly is we've bought several over the years and they keep disappearing, and this one with the broken leg and the broken holder is the one that we've kept the longest. I guess nobody else wants to use it, so we just keep shuffling it around. But anyway, welcome, y'all. We have a lot to talk about. I'm probably gonna ramble on tonight. I'm in the office. I locked myself in here because, well, I'm giving Lester the couch. And tonight's drink is a to me and from me gift. If you have been following along, I went to the Italian restaurant a few weeks ago with Lester in Livingston, and we gave that a try. And they had a Moscato wine that was just their house. And it was like the most delicious thing ever. I bought the bottle. It is, oh boy, help. This is, I can't do this. Cupcake Moscato. It's like a $7 bottle of wine, which is perfect. Problem is, I don't have any wine glasses. So I'm going to be drinking wine from a boot. The best part about this wine is that it has a twisty top, because that is just the type of gal that I am. And if I can open it, that would be 10 times better. All right. We're not going to fill the boot. We aren't playing that game tonight. I like Moscato because it's bubbly. I'm a bubbly kind of gal. Although the wine that Stephanie and I drank a few weeks ago, I think that was a few weeks ago. Really enjoyed that too. That was called 19 Crimes. Anyway, cheers to Timeout Tuesday. I'm not drinking it from a straw. I'm not classing this up in any way. This is as country as it gets here tonight, y'all. It's so, you're going to think this is crazy. It's crispy. It's crispy. It's crispy, sweet. It's delicious. Somebody says, oh boy, you're going to get gifted wine glasses. Don't make them too fancy, okay? I don't need any stems. They'll get broken. That would be horrible. For my anniversary today, I woke up to something. I know what you're thinking. I woke up to a clogged sink, the kitchen sink. And I found this out because I tried to run the dishwasher and it exploded. And then it exploded into the sink and shot all the way to the ceiling this morning. And that, friends, is how November 12th started. It was super awesome. Super awesome. Plastic stemless wine glasses is where it's at. And I am not above drinking out of a red Solo cup of wine, just for the record. So now, I also couldn't call the plumber today because both of us had such busy days that there was no time to dedicate to someone. And if you know someone that does that, personally know them, you can trust them to be in your home and to navigate around. But I don't. I have to call a plumber. And when we call a plumber, I have to lock the dogs up and be present and make sure that the gates, so, all those things. And you can't do that when you have a busy work day. So perhaps tomorrow, maybe. For now, though, I'm doing dishes with the garden hose and a little bit in the bathroom sink. It's fine. It'll be fine. Totally fine. I did pick up dinner on the way home today. I had to run and go refill a prescription. So I picked up dinner from Lester's favorite place and was like, happy anniversary. I was all super extra wife gifty, thoughtful. It was mostly selfish. I just didn't want to cook and have to clean anything up with the garden hose. You've all been there. I'm sure of it that you've all been there. Just an extra little, this is for you. In reality, can you eat with the plastic fork it came with too? Because I don't want to do any of that. So for everybody saying you can fix the sink. We've had this happen before. It was about a year ago, and it actually is like, it's beyond the trap part, and it requires a really long snake, and it's gross. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. We subscribe to a thing with a local plumbing that does like our septic maintenance and like other things or whatever, that they actually do the septic, the HVAC, the generator, and we get like 3 emergency calls a year that's free. So we utilize their company is really wonderful, but you get different people every time. So they're really good. I will call them tomorrow and arrange the unclogging of the event. And I did scrub the ceiling. So we're good there. So all is well. All is well on that home front. Paula says, I like to have a regular fork. It was rice. It was his favorite fried rice it's called michoacana, something like that. It's like a Hispanic, like ocean area is what it is. I don't really like it. I don't really get what it is that he loves so much from it, but it's his favorite. So I ordered him rice. I grabbed a sushi from the grocery store. Simple, totally simple. It's always something though, like for anybody that thinks, oh, you live such a glamorous life. No, I live a very real life with shit shows happening all around me, and I'll just roll with it and make videos of it so we can laugh about it is all. So it works, totally works. If y'all watch my video today, we did go celebrate our anniversary, and I will say that it was a nice surprise to be able to step away, because Lester Morrow doesn't step away. He doesn't have that desire in him. He's very, very much his father's son. And I'm all about being a homebody, but every once in a while, you just need a little bit of a change of scenery and just like a reset. So it was neat to be able to go, even though we had a destination in mind. There were no like deadlines or plans, and I'm grateful for that, because it really kept, for the first time ever, someone gave him this idea, I guess, because this is not a Lester Morrow idea, of just take your time to get there and stop when you want to. And it was really fun, because we stopped at this place called The Cottage, which was like 70 boutique stores in one. The building was like an old Dollar General is the best way, like size wise, that I could describe it. But all the booths were full of different things. I did get some cute gifts. Do you want to see them? I don't think I showed y'all everything I got. I got Christmas gifts. I can show you some. Hold on. I have to scoot across the room. I'll be right back. Yes, I need to oil that door. I just realized it. I don't know why. You get used to it. Okay. I actually got this for Lester to keep in his truck, because he always has really rough hands in the wintertime. It's called Bloody Knuckles. And it was kind of a joke to go with his little boxing gift that I got him. If you watched his live this morning, but it's like, it really is like putty, but it's like a very heavy cream for hands. I like the Duke Cannon brand of things. We've used some of their body wash before, and I think he's used the deodorant and beard balm before. So anyway, I got that for him. Okay. And then, you like where I hang my purses? Yeah, those are my 2 camera holders from the prom, and then somebody sent me the horse purse, and then I have one other little crossbody bag. I'm not very pursy. I'm not very pursy. I don't switch purses until it literally falls apart, or the stuff that I've been carrying it like melts to itself. I bought this, and I still don't know who it really goes to. And I don't think this part was on the video. So I ran across this stuff when we were back and forth at College Station with Voodoo, and it is seasoning. Okay. seasoning salt. And this is called the good, the special, and the awe. And then I got a dip mix. I don't know. This might be the white elephant gift that we utilize. Maybe, not sure, but it was too funny. And if you read reviews about this stuff, they have like all kinds. There's like 30 different kinds. The reviews are that this stuff is amazing. Maybe Rob and Tina. Yes, I'm not sure, but this is a great Christmas gift to be able to have. So this one right here, though, this is special. So that was pretty cool. Okay, then I got Megan something. Megan likes cozy, comfy clothes, and now I'm in regret because what I usually get is I get Megan and Kendra very similar things. You know, gotta be kind of evensies like that. And I didn't buy Kendra one, and now I'm like, whoops, I have to go back. I got this cozy, comfy stuff. This is like the softest material I've ever felt. Very comfortable, cozy, and this is the top, and it's really a lounge set. You can wear it in public if you want to. Very neutral. They didn't have my size, or I would have bought it for myself. But usually every year I get all of the kids like not pajamas, but like a lounge set of something that they wouldn't normally buy themselves. And the girls usually get the same version of something, but different colors. So I want to go back and get Kendra one. I asked the lady and she said that she would put in to the booth owner to bring up some other sizes, because most of those booth owners have other stock at home. They just come up once a week to stuff things. So they were actually like very reasonable in the world that we live in today. This was $15 and the pants were 16. That's not terrible for a decent set. Okay. And I have a limit that I set for each kid and each gift that I buy, and this fit right into it. And with one more small thing will complete my gift for the girls. So I will go back to be able to do that. And I do hope that I can get my own, but that's like boutique clothing. That's a really good price in my mind. All right. So then the rest of this, I don't know if you know this, but Brienne, Life on Morrow Hill Brienne, is a Grinch fanatic. And in years past, I don't know if I didn't know it or if the Grinch stuff just wasn't very profound everywhere, and that this year it is everywhere. But at this particular boutique, there were a lot of Grinch things. So Bree's family is getting Grinch items. And I'm going to have to give it to her before Christmas, like the Christmas season, so that they can wear them. So this is for Brienne. Okay. Merry, Merry, Merry Grinching. And she's like a Grinchaholic. And then this is for Carter. They're little pajamas, but Carter wears what Carter wants to wear. So those are little Grinch pants with the cutest. And then here's Cash. Cash got the boy version, and his has like old man pajamas. How cute are those? I could go Grinch crazy. They had like Grinch shoes. They had like Grinch everything. So I will have to take Brienne back there. Maybe Steph. Maybe all the ladies will want to go to the cottage, because it really was like I could have gone crazy. I don't feel like I went too crazy, but I did get some neat things, and nothing for me unless I'm going to keep the dipshit. I said it. Okay, that's what it says. It's what it's called. I'm allowed to say it. It's not cursing if it's written. My rules. Anyway, what I really liked about their business model was everything rang up together. So you weren't paying each booth or each vendor things like you would at like a flea market or like a vendor show. They had bathrooms. They had a coffee shop. It had a little concession stand. And then the backside, which was probably unused, they rent out for birthday parties and things like that. And it just was really neat. And it got my head like thinking of like all the things that we could do if we ever decided to do that. I have thought often in the past about like, I would love to open up a place to sell, obviously, things that Steph makes or that my mom makes eventually, or that has our merch and like is a destination to visit. Like Lester and I have dreamt about that and talked through of like, what if one day we had this, and it involved being able to meet and greet with the animals, and it involved, like if you want to go really big, cabins without rats, or tiny homes that were like Airbnbs or things like that, to create a space like that, but also had little shops and somewhat similar to Magnolia in Waco, but not on that scale. Like they built all their own buildings and their own stores and things like that. I don't know. Thinking through that, like that's a very futuristic place for us, but I think it would be I think it would be fun because that would give Lester a purpose. And he has his own purpose every day anyway, but Lester loves to entertain and meet new people. And that would be a very safe way, controllable way with all of those things. So maybe don't go there yet, but it would be neat and it would be fun because you could have everybody's merch, logos, everything like that. But it could also be things like Stephanie's soap, my mom's gourd creation, like all of that could be in one space, and it would be a neat place. And we even like Lester and I've even like theorized about like in reality, if it was open, like let's just say Wednesday through Sunday, everybody could take one day a month. There's enough adults. If you had your things there, you could take one day a month that it was your job to work work the store part of it, type of thing. Where I'm from, about 30 minutes away, was a place called Eckert's. Eckert's is apple orchards and apple picking, Christmas trees, pumpkin picking, and they change their theme up. They have wagon rides. They have, stuff to go with that all the time. And Xander's grandparents on his dad's side have an apple orchard, and they have an apple fest every year where people come out, and the kids, they have hay mazes and, all of those things. And it is, like I have experience in that space and I know that I could do something similar to that. It's just a matter of, is that what everyone else wants to do? And would people actually want to do it? Like, is my version of fun not fun for everyone else? I don't know. Eckert's has blown up over the years. When I was young, it was one building. They've now opened a family restaurant. They have a huge market that's part of it. You can buy whole pies, and you can take classes there, from arts and crafts to cooking to growing things. Like, it is unbelievable what they have evolved to become. And I love that. And I think that maybe one day I would love to do that. First, I have to figure out how to grow apples in Texas, but I can grow pumpkins. We can have a zucchini picking. I can grow zucchini and gourds. I'm really good at gourds too. Steph can grow loofahs. I don't know. Just thinking about, some of the possibilities of future, and just what could evolve to be certain things. But I think it would be really neat to be able to have something like that is a representation of everything that we show people we are online every day as well. So we'll see. That's big dreams in the future and maybes, and you don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm like thinking totally different than the rest of the family, or my hopes and dreams are different as well. But maybe it's a RV spots that are, part of it as well. And you can stay for a weekend if you want to. I don't know. We'll see. Somebody says, where would you have it? It would require additional land for sure. It would have to be more than what we have today to be able to do things like that. So I don't know. Texas, it would happen in Texas. It wouldn't be in Illinois. So we'll see. what else has happened? So, okay, so the cottage was awesome. And Lester like drove by and turned around, which blew my mind. Never in the history of ever has that happened. On his own. He saw it before I ever even saw it. And to be honest with you, I literally had the bean dip and Fritos in my hand, ready to crack it open to feed him because that's what we do on road trips. And he was like, hold on. And he like turns around in the rain. I'm like, who are you? What's going on? What's happening? And then the funniest part was neither one of us had any idea where the heck we were. We'd never been through that town before. I had to ask the ladies at checkout, where am I? So I could find this place again. And we were in Mauriceville, Texas, which neither of us had ever heard of. Cute little town. And again, brilliant idea of a combination of little boutique shops of all different things. You could get the iron-ons for t-shirts. You could buy the shirts. You could buy very expensive jeans. You could buy kids' clothes. You could buy shoes. Oh, there were a lot of great shoes there. You could buy Christmas ornaments. You could buy purses. You could buy men's clothes. I mean, like everything was just in one spot. It was just a really neat place. So I am looking forward to bringing the ladies back to there and seeing what they think as well. I love to go on little road trips and explore and have no real rules. Yeah. And it's not about spending a ton of money. You can see I didn't go crazy, and I don't even like to shop for myself. I like to shop for others. So that was fun. Then we got back in the car and it poured the rest of the way to the casino. And when I say poured, like couldn't see 10 foot in front of us. So it took a little bit longer than we anticipated. And the worst part was we went across the bridge that you come across going into Lake Charles. And I don't know the name of that lake. And there's nothing I could read because it was so rainy. But we were going like 30 miles an hour. And both of us were like holding our breath, white knuckled, because it was so high and you couldn't see. And the bridge itself, which I don't know how this is possible, felt like it went up like halfway up our wheels. Like it just felt like the tiniest sides at all to cross, and I was just terrified the whole time. And I don't like heights, and I especially don't like bridges, especially over water, so that made it 10 times worse. But we got there, we both relaxed, had a good dinner. We both gambled. We always go in with a set amount of money, and like whatever happens, that's it, and we go to the local casino here. There's only one in Texas, and it's like 30 miles from us. Probably go there once a year. And this is the first time we've been to Lake Charles in like 2 or 3 years. And this is only our second time to Lake Charles ever. So we're not big gamblers or anything like that, but I'll play the slots for $20 and see what happens. And I won, nothing big, but I doubled my money. So that was fun. And Lester had a good night too. And then I went to bed by like 10:30. And what's really weird is on the day after, if you're at home and there's if work is waiting for me, I am always exhausted, can sleep all the way to the very last minute, and I'll get up, but I'm like sluggish. But on days where I don't have to get up, I am up feeling refreshed. There's something exciting to do. So Sunday morning in the hotel, where we didn't have to rush home, we didn't have to get up and feed, both of us are laying there awake at like 6 o'clock, staring at each other like, why are we awake? What are we going to do right now? It's so weird because, like I said, the days that you're home and that every work is waiting and all of those things, like you kind of like give yourself a little boost to be able to like do those things. You get going and it's fine. But then on days where you don't have to, all of a sudden you're like, I'm up, I'm ready to go. Like, what is that in you that makes that happen? I don't know. A lot of people are afraid of bridges. I'm telling you, that was scary for me. I don't like that one. Like if there's a negative about the trip, it was that bridge in the rain specifically. The next day wasn't terrible, wasn't great, but it wasn't as bad as as coming across it in the rain and with everybody else flying by you because they knew it. And like just the thought of like a semi, like I've seen too many videos, like a semi sliding or something, like, yeah, no. Not for me. Kelly says bridges and tunnels terrify me. Tunnels terrify me too, but not as bad as bridges for whatever reason. In a tunnel, I guess I've only been in a few mountain tunnels and then the tunnels going into New York City. So I haven't been in too many of those, to be honest with you. Give the dipshit to Dan's cooking show. That would be really funny. Okay. The morning before we went to the casino, I got on Prim, and I've gotten on her again since then. You haven't seen that part yet. I can't describe to you fully the feeling of being on the back of a horse, but being on the back of a horse that I love and that I put my hands on and care for and pick up her feet and feed and groom and talk to every day. That to me is one of the most powerful communications. Like, I feel like I'm connected to my horses and donkeys, but mostly horses, that they feel me, understand me, and I do them too. Like, I can look at them and tell what kind of mood they're in, and I can understand their emotions, and I can feel their emotions. And I think that a lot of times, like, there's a lot of people like, you need to take lessons, you need to go here and do this on this horse, and you need to do all these things. I don't disagree that I need lessons, and I'm the first to tell you that I have asked for help, and I'm getting help in what I'm doing. But being on the back of my horse and being able to tell what she's feeling through that process and talking to her and making eye contact with her is like incredible. And I'm going to tell you about a side piece too, because like a side, not a side piece, a side thing about this is that my Storm has wanted me to be on her back in the pond and a lot of places, and this has like escalated it by 1,000, and she keeps trying to tell me that she wants to do what Prim is doing. However, Prim is Prim is older. I don't want to say wiser, but she is much more calm in her demeanor and less spooked. And while I think Storm has every bit of the right, like, I think that she wants to do that so bad, I also know that Storm gets spooked very easily and is the most hyper alert horse that I have. Storm reminds me of Annie. Storm is a protector and when she's spooked, she is startled spooked, and then likes to puff out her chest. She doesn't run and hide or things like that. But Storm's heart is on her sleeve versus Prim, who is a more mature mare, is very conscious of her size and stature and confident in who she is. And that's the best way that I can describe the differences between the two. So I fully believe, and this has evolved really in the last 48 hours, Storm and Prim are becoming very connected. Now, don't get me wrong. They're like girls do, okay? Like we will size up the new lady and make judgments and be like, I'm not, like even subconsciously we don't let other women in. But over time, as you start to get to know that person, you realize you're on the same team. And I am seeing that between Storm and Prim right now. In fact, tonight at dinner, I watched Bucky's and Voodoo lineup. Of course, Ivy's in that mix. Typically, then Storm and Prim take turns about who's next in line at the fence. And tonight, Prim stepped up, and normally she blows out at the same time to let everybody know, like, I am here, I am present, don't mess with me. And today, she looked over and nudged for Storm to come up. And tonight, Storm and Prim ate from the same flake of hay. There was plenty of other hay around, but Prim was like, come with me, we're together. And I was like, all being a crying mom out here in the pasture, like I'm literally sweeping shit out of the barn. And this is happening, and I'm watching it, and I'm just like tear. I'm like, this is like the best moment ever. It was awesome. Tomorrow they'll probably be back to, you know, neighing at each other and doing everything else, but it was very much like it's subtle. And if this was a year ago, I don't think I would have caught what had happened there, as far as the way that Prim's head looked back at Storm and tossed it forward. But now that I'm learning all of these gestures and tiny little things, it was obvious to me at what was happening, and that bond is going to be amazing. It's going to be incredibly amazing. Um, so I think it's going to take time with Storm, and Courtney and Ashley were here yesterday, and I asked a lot about that. And she took Storm. She did not ride Storm. She took Storm out with Prim, and you'll see some video of that coming later this week. And what she said to me is, Storm is a horse that still needs a round pen. Prim is a horse that you can saddle and you can get on, and you're going to get the same horse every single time. So that was, number one, comfortable to hear, wonderful to hear. But I'm the one who needs training to be able to do things with Storm, and I'm the one that needs education further on what to do and how to do it to be able to communicate the right way. So those things are awesome. The other thing that's going on is we've been doing some work with Rita. You'll see some videos coming out about that. And Rita is like so proud of herself and so much sticking up her chest and wants to do all of these big things too. She's still a very little girl. She's not ready for all of those things yet. But Rita's learning tiny things that are really big in the horse space. And one of those is space and manners. And it's powerful to watch because I didn't realize how much injustice that I was doing Rita by trying to correct her in a pasture full of other horses that she was also, competing with. And now that it's one-on-one time with Rita, she's so focused, and she's a very smart horse, like very smart horse. And she is going to have a like wonderful future. Like she will become an incredible horse. But I'm learning that I missed a lot of her cues and things like that because I was, number one, fearful, but number two, not recognizing that not only was she trying to please me, she's trying to fit in the herd and be on top, and she wanted to be the one that got the attention. So this whole like transition thing has been incredible. But the best thing, like I don't want to discount the ride on Prim or the rides on Prim, but what's happening with Rita is going to shock you, is the best way that I can describe it. So more to come on that, but I am, I've signed up for lessons for myself, and that I think is going to be very helpful. I also got a lot of lesson on tack, saddles, pieces, what they mean, what's right, what's wrong. And don't get me wrong, Uriel coming here to help us saddle up Prim was wonderful. Lester is very skilled in the saddling space as well. The Tears coming here to reiterate everything that's said. I have horse people who are very like-minded in that space, who love animals genuinely. So I feel very confident in what they're telling me. I also am, of course, in my own time, everything that I talk about now is horse. And when I look up things, now my news feeds and everything are full of horse everything. So when I watch other things and I'm able to like screenshot and send questions to them. Poor Courtney is probably totally sick of me asking a million questions, but I'm in a space right now where like I'm in my horse era, I guess you could say, and I've thought that I have been for years now, but now I'm like way up here in the horse era. And the only thing that could be better is if I could bring the horses into the greenhouse. If the horses could come with me to the greenhouse and hang out with me while I plant a few things without destroying it, that would be like chef's kiss, amazing. But I'm enjoying the education around it. I'm enjoying the time. I'm enjoying also giving the animals, I don't want to say their space, but I don't feel like I'm overdoing it. I don't feel like my animals dread that moment. I don't feel like the animals look horses or anybody looks and like, oh gosh, there's mom coming again. I feel like it is a very pleasant overall experience, and that they're giving me grace in the fact that I know very little, and that I'm it's like, to be honest with you, it's like learning things not just mentally but physically that I don't have the muscle memory for. So it's going to take so many repetitions of doing these things, because it does have to become muscle memory. Watching Lester get on a horse and it being just like what he's done his whole life, I'm jealous of that. I want to be able to just have the comfort of get on and sit in the seat and feel so at peace and have a healthy respect, obviously, of the animal itself, but also to feel confident enough that you'll know when things are going different, and that confident enough to take the control if you need to, or to be able to communicate in the way that the horse needs you to. You'll see that we learned a thing about Prim yesterday that Courtney called out that was very interesting. I'm not going to play that video till Thursday, so I'll just tell you. We learned that Prim's training is based off of verbal cues, not necessarily all of the physical cues. So if you tell Prim to do something in very direct horse words, she'll do it in an instant. If I'm just making the motions that a horse would normally respond to, she may or may not get it. Also learned from her previous owners that she always rode with certain types of headpieces and different things like that. So we're going to have to teach her different things. It's just really interesting. And then to be able to know that I want Storm to learn from Prim as well. So a different way of training around that will have to happen as well. So it's going to be awesome, and I'm excited that we have cool enough weather to make this happen, because if this would have been July or August, there's no way that I could have put a saddle on Prim and felt good about, making her have any type of extra to deal with in the Texas heat. So this timing was really wonderful. And I also have to give one other thing that's happening that I have not really put on video. I think Voodoo's in love. You're like Voodoo's a gelding, okay? So he doesn't feel the same way that a intact male horse would feel, obviously. But I think Voodoo looks at Prim like, she's my size. Just kind of close to what I like to do. Slower pace, hang out. She likes to spend time in the barn. She will actually beat him to the barn and wait for him. And I'm just seeing a very much like a kinship of relationship there. And I see him he has patience with everyone, but extra patience with her. And it's not that she's doing anything that that any other horse does or doesn't do. It's just that when she goes to the barn, he'll leave his loafing shed to go to the barn. And he's a loafing shed kind of horse. He spends a lot of time in that loafing shed. And when they decide to leave the barn, they leave together, and it's really cute. Like, I hate to say it, they have matching behinds, okay? So Buddha's got a much shorter, skinnier tail. Prim's got a little bit bigger display. I'll just put that on. Like, she has a much more beautiful tail. But when they walk, they'll like pace each other, and they'll like talk, like I know they aren't making verbal things to each other as they're walking, but I see their eye contact. I can tell that they have a thing going on, and it is like, it's adorable, because for the last year, and especially since the accident, I've watched Voodoo still be a leader, but sort of be behind. And it's not that I feel like that anybody thinks anything different of that. They're like, it's just Voodoo. He's just, gonna go back to the barn and hang out for a while we all finish eating and playing around, or we're gonna go swim and Voodoo's gonna go to the barn. I feel like that Prim speaks his language. So it really warms my heart to be able to see him find companionship in that way. Because he's always had his buddy, Bucky's. And he took Rita under his wing. He loved Dixie. Oh, he loved Dixie. I'm going to cry. And he loves Storm. But Storm and Bucky's have had a thing since she got here. Bucky's was smitten the second that Storm showed up. So to see Voodoo have this like very stoic and gentlemanly approach to Prim is like, I'll try to capture it on video for y'all, because it is in the tiniest ways, and it's very special. I'm gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. It's very special. So that is what's going on in my horse world. My as the horse world turns is really special. Now Dan's been in love with Prim since she stepped off the trailer. Dan was in love with Rita at first. I don't know if he was really in love with Storm or not, but Dan was in love with Rita until she tried to run him over. And then Dan was in love with Prim. I think he might still be in love with Prim, but he really loved to show her around. And she's really sweet to those donkeys, y'all. Like, I believe she thinks that she has 3 pet donkeys and a pony friend. And it's funny because Ivy will take no BS. Ivy will not. Prim will be like finding that space and blowing out her nose. And if Ivy's standing there, Ivy just looks at her and puts her head down and just starts eating with her. And Prim's like, okay, fine, whatever. You're not leaving. Okay, fine, whatever. But the other 3 donkeys want to do whatever Prim is doing. They want to be in the vicinity. So they don't need to be like right next to her. But if she's going to go to the barn, all 3 of them are also going near the barn as well. Like, she's a leader as well, in her own way. And it's very, very fun to watch. Because she does care for them. Watching Dan lead her through the loafing shed that day is still a thing that's one of those farm things I will never forget, ever. Watching him show her around, like, this is how we come in, and you can come out over here, but you're welcome to stay here. I'll wait for you here while you check this out. Like, it was just so sweet. Dan is also a gentleman. Yeah, we have a really neat herd dynamic going over there, and I hope that we can bring Rita back into that. I will have to think about what that means for that pasture in the long run. And that's a little bit of a fear. We're at the time of year right now where things are, it's winter anyway, and things are going dormant. But in the future, I have to think about the population in that pasture and how I can make sure that there's enough grass that stays in there for them, so that we don't have so much traffic that it causes just one giant dry lot. That's future, though. That's not today. And the relationships that are being built in that herd are really important. And like I said, with Rita's training and what's going on there, and some of the things that we have in the works for Rita, it is important for her to stay where she's at too. Rita's in the right place. And there are a lot of people that hate that and disagree with that. But I will tell you, I have watched a lot of horse things lately, and I've watched a lot of Katie Van Slyke, and she's the queen of horses, okay? They keep all of their horses separate, like, all the time. They'll have a gelding pasture or a gelding outing, but for the most part, their horses are stalled with turnout during the day, but they turn them out at different times to be separate. They will strategically put certain ones together for a short amount of times, but they don't have number one, I don't have the setup that they do. But Rita just being across the driveway is not hurting Rita's feelings at all. Rita is genuinely coming into her own on that side of the pasture. She has been greeting me, and I'll play the video tomorrow morning. She has been greeting me from the backside where the littles are, like in that loafing shed, the middle paddock area. So she's not waiting in the morning on the side of the driveway where that gate is. She is waiting all the way by the littles, even though if she gets fed first, no matter where she is on that side of the pasture, Rita is finding her confidence in the space. And I have to, okay, this is mean, and I can only say it to y'all. She's telling Carl what to do, and I kind of like it. She has put Carl in his place several times. Carl came up yesterday morning. I fed Rita, then I fed the littles, and then I fed the alpacas, and I'm refilling waters, and I'm scratching Rita. And here comes Carl up, like at the gate by the loafing shed. And Rita looks over her shoulder at him and gives him a little bit of like this. And Carl literally does a 180 and walks directly back out. And I was like, I like this. I like this a lot. Thank you, Rita. So animals have this amazing way to communicate. It is not like this physical battle that people probably imagine it is. It is subtle. And Rita is a queen in her space right now, and she loves power. She loves power. But I will tell you that I took great pride in that moment of let Carl just go away. Don't get me wrong. Carl's getting his food and his water, and he has plenty of things. But Rita taking no stuff from him made me realize that Rita's pretty happy with what she's got going on right now. So, another thing we have, and I know it's a seasonal thing, we have botfly eggs on horses. And y'all gave me advice on you're going to have to get a flea comb, you're going to have to get a lice comb, or you're going to have to shave them off. I have since learned that the number one tool is eyebrow razors to be able to do that. So I intend to have myself quite the party this week. I'm just going to pick a horse a day and just go out there and get botfly eggs off. It's very normal. It happens. And the only way to get them off is you have to pull them off the hair. They're like glue, basically. So the eyebrow razor is those little handly things with the tiny little thing that you just like take the edges off. So that's what I'm gonna be doing to horses this week, one at a time. And then I have some shampoo that is for that as well. It should be at the season where they stop laying at this point in time, and we should be good. So Christy says I use a bot egg knife to scrape them off. I do have one of those as well. And Margaret, as I understand, it's only on horses. If it's on cows, Lester's on his own. He can shave Ruby's armpits. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it's like it looks like lice, except for it's on the end of the a dermaplaner. Yes, it's on the end of the hair instead of the base of the hair. Sarah, I promise it's not gross. They're just tiny little dots. It's not there's no bites or anything like that. It's a tiny little dot on it. Sorry. I'm reading comments now because we are coming towards the end of our time, and I want to be sure that I can answer y'all's questions. There's actually bot blocks too. Huh. They've had all of their parasite treatments. They have some fly stuff that gets put on them every single day. I wash them with shampoo about once a week, once every other week. Well, Storm was in the pond 3 times yesterday morning while the tears were here. Uh, so she takes plenty of showers herself, but everybody else gets a shower with water in the days that are above 80. And then if as they want it from there. Lenny is doing pretty good. Lenny has to make a trip in Wednesday or Thursday, I can't remember, to have another check, but he had his cast rewrapped last week when Lester brought him in, and that went well. And I think that he'll have 3 more weeks from here in this cast, but he's doing really good. Like, if he has the opportunity, he will jump up and eat ostrich food. It's his favorite thing. He actually will go pass up goat food, pass up green hay, pass up alpaca food, and go directly to the ostrich food if he has the opportunity. The gray kittens. So there are 2 gray kittens that are still very feral that come up to eat every night. They are living in the garage right now behind the hay, and then they come out to eat still behind my greenhouse. I have not set a trap to catch them. I did talk to Dr. Cochran. They are both males. So I'm hoping to be able to catch them right after Thanksgiving and bring them in to get neutered. Let's see here. Bucky's vet trip. Bucky's would not load in the trailer. So the Dr. Cochran and a tech will come out and see Bucky's, and they'll also do Lenny's recheck at that point in time too. I don't know if they're bringing the X-ray here or what. I know that they have to change out his splint wrapping and everything like that, but we'll see. The cowboy in the restaurant was just a guy who, to me, looked like either Sam Elliott or the guy from Yellowstone. And I am so sorry I do not remember the guy from Yellowstone's name. But when I walked up to him and when he looked like straight on in the face, he didn't look like Sam Elliott. From the side, he did. So I joked with him and I said, I know that you aren't him, but do you get this a lot? And he was so flattered. And he was like, no, but I'll take it. Lloyd, yes. So we joked around. I asked for permission to post a video allowing people to guess who he was, and he was sincerely flattered. So many people were so mean to me about Sam Elliott is so much thinner than that, and he looks so much different. You would never see him in a restaurant like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he was just lightheartedly saying, what does he look like? Oh, the people on the internet are so mean, y'all, and critical. And first to be like, to tell anyone the things that they like, they just want to be so mean and rude. It's unbelievable. People are like crazy. I was actually telling Lester about this the other day, that I feel like there are a lot of people in this world who maybe don't have an opportunity to have a voice in every setting, or don't feel like that they have the courage to say things out loud in settings, or maybe they don't get to go in public and interact with new people all the time. So they use social media as this outlet of like, I could say whatever I want. I have the same space as you do. I have the same keyboard that you do. And I feel like we have grown to this space of like, the louder the better in that space of like, the more absurd, the more rude that I can be, that I'll take any attention that I can get. And I don't say me, but like some. And it's like a child that is throwing a fit and wanting to be so absurd that they attract attention in any way. And I am just not going to be a part of that. Like, I have no tolerance for it. Lester and I were talking the other day, like, if I see something that I think is absolutely horrific and it disgusts me or it upsets me, I am not one to comment. I am one to move on. It is so insane to me And if even if it's like a video that you can see that somebody faked, or if it's something that just hurts my soul, I'm still not going to be one to call out somebody on there. I will empathize with people. I will say I'm so sorry for this person. But I would say those things in real life. So to know that some people are using social media as like this space that they've I don't know, this is probably the wrong thing, almost like a Tourette's way of uncontrollably saying the very first thing that comes to their mind and being absurd is I hope that my kid never does those things ever. I hope that my kid treats people in the online space the same way that he would treat them face to face and expect to be treated himself. So it's wild. It's a wild, wild world out there. And I don't like to put people in categories or classes or anything like that, or to say this or labels or anything like that. But I will say that um I grew up in a time where social media wasn't here. And I genuinely believe that I was born in the wrong era, because I feel like my soul and my things that I love, the nostalgia, all those pieces are from sometimes even before my time. So it's very hard for me to get on board with all of these futuristic thoughts and also just perceptions of being a victim, because I grew up in an era of you rub some dirt on it and you pull yourself together and you don't quit. You figure it out. And that's the school I grew up in, of figure it out, because no one else is going to do it for you. So I don't relate to the other side of that, of entitlement or of can't, and also of this boisterous, obnoxious, loudest person in the room that really has no knowledge or couth whatsoever. I don't relate to that. So I struggle really hard when I stumble across that, whether it's on my page or someone else's. I don't want to be affiliated with it. I don't want that to be what surrounds me or my family. And I certainly don't want that for you either. So I hope that I project that and that you feel like you can come to a place here of I'm not saying you have to lie or be overly nice or anything like that, but I feel like we have real conversations about real things, and that even when we don't agree, that we still talk through it, because in 5 more minutes, it's not going to change my life or yours in those circumstances. I don't know. Just a different world right now. We got all kinds of craziness happening everywhere. And I the more that all of that happens, the more I want to go sweep horseshit in the barn. I'll just say that. It's crazy. And I hope that you find places to decompress like that, and if even it's the simplest thing, I don't know, I still find joy in having all my laundry clean, folded, and put away. I still find great joy in putting seed and dirt and organizing my greenhouse and doing crafts and things like that. And I hope that you find things that you can escape some of this chaos that's going on in the world. I just looked down and remember that I got a gift in the mail. I got a few gifts in the mail, and I'm not very gift and goodie-ish. You all know that about me. But this one came with a text that said, "You're going to get this," and I need to show it to you. Hang on. Now, I could smell this, okay? I could smell this through the package. Lester opened it already. I don't know if you can see this. From all of us at ZCF. Do you know what ZCF is? I'll wait for it in the comments to see if y'all know. It smells like Christmas right here in front of me. All right. So ZCF is Zion Creek Farm. And we met Sean, the owner of Zion Creek, 2.5 years ago at a creators conference. And he came to the house and built our goat cabana. Sean makes goat milk soap, and he sent me his holiday line, which I was out of his soap, so this makes it awesome. This is Cozy Apple Cinnamon. Oh, that's good. I have not looked online to be able to see what these are. Snowy Forest. Oh, that's pretty. I have a confession to make, though. About 2 months ago, I stumbled upon one of Sean's, the beginning of his videos, and he was in fast mode, and he was tying all of these, he was packaging all of this soap and tying all of these little strings right here. And I don't know why, but I can watch people organize. I can watch people journal. I can watch people scrapbook. I can watch people pour all of their goods into like their pantry containers. It turns out I can also watch people tie strings. Really big fan of the nonsense, mindless videos. Pumpkin Swirl Delight. I don't even like pumpkin, and that smells like fall. Okay, Frosty Peppermint. Oh, it has a cute little snowflake. Now, I have let these, clearly these have been in a box and some of the oils have poked through on the wrapping. Sean did not have to send all of these. Holy cow. I'm going to have to pass some of these out as Christmas gifts. Oh my gosh, he has all kinds of new scents. Greg's Patchouli. I love patchouli. Like, really love patchouli. Sister Kim wears a perfume that definitely has patchouli in it, and I love the scent. I have no idea what it is. People also like tying these knots, but like watching tying these knots. Snowy Forest again, so I might have 2 of every one then. Sean has a goat farm. Sean and his wife have a goat farm. Yeah, so I have 2 of everything. Well, thank you, Sean, and the lovely Mrs. H for sending us such thoughtful soap. All the people that make things like this, like Steph makes homemade soap as well, are just so talented. These are things that I could never do. Yeah. It's hard to say which one's my favorite. I don't even like pumpkin, but I really like this scent. Really like. So Zion Creek sells on Etsy. And they have goats, and Sean milks them every day himself. It's a really sweet channel to watch as well. Thank you, Sean. That was awesome. I did get one other thing that came that I have not had time to do yet, but one of these nights I'm going to open it, maybe before this wine goes bad, maybe one night this week. And it is a miniature DIY greenhouse. So perhaps one night I'll set up the camera. Y'all can pop in if you want to. I'll have a glass of wine and we can chit chat about life while I build a greenhouse. All right. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight, listening to me ramble and rant and go on about all the things. There are some really neat videos coming up about what's been going on around here, and I'm enjoying I don't want to say the slowdown, but some of the abilities to take the time to do some of the things that I love. Of course, gardening, horses, miniature kits, spending time with Lester. It's been a wild year, y'all. It's been a really wild year, and just having an extra 15 minutes or so a day, and I can't explain why, has really left me feeling blessed. And I love being able to spend Tuesdays with y'all, and hope to be able to hope to be able to do that more often than just Tuesday coming up. As it gets darker earlier, I'm finding myself inside earlier. So I did order a new extender for the Wi-Fi, which means that I'll have Wi-Fi in the greenhouse again because I am spending more time out there. So perhaps we'll have some greenhouse lives. Perhaps we'll build a mini greenhouse. Maybe I'll learn some soap with Steph. I don't know what's coming up, but I do have one more thing to tell you. I have a prank. I have a prank that's brewing. You cannot tell anyone else on Morrow Hill that the prank season is about to begin as well. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to tell you who's going to get pranked, but it's going down. I have a new prank idea. I will bring you along for that journey as well. Lester is going to have to be my getaway driver. Just saying. Anyway, thank you all so much for taking the time to share with me, for allowing me into your homes and phones, and just giving me the greatest gift of all, which is your time. I am extremely grateful that you choose me and that you give me grace in all of the things that are going on too. I love you all so very much, and I hope you have a very safe week, and I will catch you on the next video. Good night, y'all.